Okay guys, this is the last section in this unit. So this is Unit 3, Section 6. I'm actually looking at the homework, so you might want to pause the video and you might want to go print it out because I'm going to be doing some of the problems on the video. Before we start, I want to talk about keywords to look for. So a couple of the keywords to look for are growth. If we're looking at a growth, think about what that would mean. We would talk about increase. We might talk about just a plain old simple interest. And we might see the word appreciate. So we're going to look for those words. Okay? And that would lead us to understand that we need to use the growth equation. For the decay equation, we're going to look for eliminate, decrease, and depreciate. If we're talking compound interest, there's only one thing you're looking for: interest compounded. If you see the word interest and compounded, we need to go to interest compound. So let's look at the, I'm going to actually go through this with you, and we're going to highlight the keywords. Okay, so let me use a different color here. So it says find a bank account balance if the account starts with $100 as an annual rate of 4% and the money left in the account for 12 years. Okay, this just has annual rate. This is not talking, I don't see the word compounded interest anywhere in this problem. If I don't see the word compounded interest, then we know this is growth. Okay, so we're going to use the growth equation here. So y equals a parenthesis 1 plus r raised to the t. Was a, wasn't it? Okay, so that's the growth equation. All right, let's go to number 2. In 1985, there were 285 cell phone subscribers in the small town of Centerville. The number of subscribers increased by 75% per year after 1985. I don't need to go any further. I see the word increased. Increased is growth. That's going to be my growth equation. Okay, number 3. Each year, the local country club sponsors a tennis tournament. Players start with 128 participants. During each round, half the players are eliminated. I see the word eliminated. That means I'm going down. That means we're not growing in numbers. And if you think of what a tournament is, you each play each other. Whoever loses is kicked out or goes to the other bracket. And so this is going to be decay. And so the equation we're going to use here is y equals a parenthesis 1 minus r raised to the t power. Okay? And so we just figure out those numbers, plug it in, and get the answer. Let's look at number 4. The population of Winnemucca, Nevada can be modeled by, they give you the equation where t is the number of years since 1990. What was the population in 1990? By what percent did the population increase each year? So the initial population, what you can see here, now you need to think about, and I'm going to give you a hint here, what this actually means. And so this doesn't originally look what we talked about. So this is a growth equation. Let's separate that 100% from the rate, and let's see if that helps you. So it's 6,191 parenthesis 1 plus 0.04 raised to the t. And you just have to answer some questions about that. You're not going to actually get an answer there. You have to answer what was the population in 1990 when this problem started and by what percent. So you have to change the decimal rate back into a percent. So that's number 4. They're the hints I'm giving you for that. I gave you a lot of hints on that. All right. Number 5, you inherited land that was purchased for $30,000 in 1960. The value of the land increased. There's my key word. I don't see compounded or anything else, so that's going to be my key word. That's a growth equation. Okay? Number 6, during normal breathing, about 12% of the air in the lungs is replaced after one breath. Write an exponential decay. This tells you we're doing decay. This is a little bit challenging, but you can handle this. Decay model. Think about what each number stands for before you start plugging it in. Number 7, an adult takes 400 milligrams of ibuprofen. Each hour, the amount of ibuprofen in the person's system decreases by. There we go. Decreases by. That means we're talking about decay. Okay? Number 8. This one, the words jump out. There's actually 3 different problems here, and the words jump out at me immediately. We have compound it monthly, compound it quarterly, and compound it yearly. So that means we have 3 of the problems all have the same initial amount. They have different percentage rates, and they are compounded differently. So you have to do 3 problems there. Okay? Now, I'm not going to give you much for 9, 10, and 11. These are challenge problems. I think a lot of you can handle them. I would like to see all of you try them. What I will give you a hint is you might want to make a table of values. So these are more think it through. See if you can figure it out. You're not necessarily going to use the equation because you don't know how to find if the letters in the exponent, you haven't learned that. That's logarithm, and you haven't learned that. So, but there is a way to do all 3 of these problems. I did all 3 of them without using that. Now it's a little more cumbersome, so obviously mathematicians had to come up with a better way of doing it. But I want you to try at least 1 or 2 of these to see if you can figure out by using a table of values what the answer is to each of these. Okay? Again, if you're having trouble with these, any of the problems on the homework, make sure you stop by your teacher's online office hours so you can answer questions. If you're getting down to the right answer or right equation, but then you can't seem to get the right answer, make sure you don't erase what you put on your calculator so that we can see what's on your calculator because you're probably just entering something incorrectly. So make sure you have that so you can show that to us. Again, if it's just a quick question, you can always just do the chat on Canvas, and I usually will answer that pretty quickly.